Aviation has always pushed the limits of imagination, but sometimes it ventures into the downright strange. From flying machines that double as submarines to jet-powered crop sprayers and inflatable rescue aircraft. Bartini VVA14. The Bartini VVA14 was one of the most unusual aircraft to emerge during the Cold War, designed with a bold purpose: to locate and attack submarines from the sky. Created by the innovative Soviet engineer Roberto Bartini, the aircraft combined amphibious capabilities with vertical takeoff and landing, and it was built to harness the ground effect for stable, low-altitude flight over water. This experimental craft stood out for its futuristic look and ambitious goals. It was meant to quickly deploy across wide ocean areas, carrying out reconnaissance and rapid response missions. However, despite its promise, the VVA-14 faced serious technical difficulties during testing. These problems prevented it from ever reaching full production. In the end, only one prototype was completed. Today, it rests in a Russian aviation museum, a silent tribute to a time when engineers pushed the limits of what flight could be. The VVA-14 may never have flown in combat, but it remains a symbol of imaginative aerospace design and Cold War-era ambition. Blohm Voss BV141. The Blohm Voss BV141 was one of the most unusual aircraft of World War II. Designed by the German company Blohm Voss, it featured an asymmetric layout with the crew cabin on one side and the engine on the other. This strange design gave the pilot excellent visibility, which was ideal for reconnaissance missions. Despite its impressive performance and stability, the BV141 never went into full production. The German Luftwaffe chose other aircraft, like the Focke-Wulf FW189, for similar roles. Still, the BV141 remains a fascinating piece of aviation history, remembered for its bold and unconventional design that pushed the boundaries of what aircraft could look like and how they could function. Boeing B-377 Pregnant Guppy. The Boeing B-377 Pregnant Guppy was one of aviation's most unusual and eye-catching aircraft. Developed in the early 1960s, it was designed to carry oversized cargo, especially parts of NASA's Saturn rockets. Built from a modified Boeing 377 Stratocruiser, the Pregnant Guppy featured a massive, balloon-like fuselage, giving it a unique, pregnant shape. Though not fast, it got the job done, transporting bulky components that would otherwise be impossible to move by air. Only one was ever built, but its success led to even larger models like the Super Guppy. The Pregnant Guppy played a vital role in America's space race, quietly making history by helping big dreams take flight, literally. Caproni CA60. The Caproni CA60 was an ambitious flying boat designed by Italian engineer Gianni Caproni in the early 1920s. It looked like something from a dream, or a mad inventor's sketchbook. With 9 wings stacked in 3 sets and 8 engines, this massive aircraft aimed to carry 100 passengers across the Atlantic. It was a bold vision for a time when aviation was still young. Sadly, the CA60 only flew once. During its maiden flight in 1921, it lost control and crashed into Lake Maggiore. Though it never flew again, the CA60 remains a symbol of daring innovation and early dreams of commercial air travel, proof that pushing boundaries sometimes means failing first but inspiring generations after. Curtiss-Wright VZ7. The Curtiss-Wright VZ7, often nicknamed the Flying Jeep, was an experimental aircraft developed in the late 1950s for the U.S. Army. Designed for short takeoffs and landings, it featured 4 propellers and a compact, open-frame body. The goal was to create a vehicle that combined the mobility of a helicopter with the ruggedness of a ground jeep. Although it was surprisingly easy to control and maneuver, the VZ7 didn't meet all military requirements and never went into full production. Still, it stood out as a creative leap in aviation. The Flying Jeep remains a fascinating example of Cold War-era innovation, reflecting a time when engineers dared to blend flight and function in bold new ways. Lackner HZ1. The Lackner HZ1 Aerocycle was a unique one-man flying machine developed in the 1950s by the U.S. Army. Designed to be flown with minimal training, it looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. The pilot stood on top of the craft, balancing like on a unicycle, while 2 powerful rotors spun just below. Controlled by shifting body weight, it was simple in concept but risky in practice. Though it reached impressive speeds and altitudes during tests, stability and safety concerns grounded the project. Despite its short lifespan, the Aerocycle remains a fascinating glimpse into the military's early experiments with personal flight, showing how imagination and innovation often take bold, if bumpy, first steps. Goodyear Inflatoplane. The Goodyear Inflatoplane was one of aviation's most unusual inventions. Designed in the 1950s, this inflatable aircraft was built by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company for the U.S. military. Its frame was made of rubberized fabric, and when deflated, it could fit inside a car trunk or crate. The idea was simple but bold: rescue downed pilots behind enemy lines by airdropping a plane they could inflate and fly out. Surprisingly, it could reach speeds over 60 miles per hour and fly for hours. Though never used in combat, the inflatoplane was a fascinating experiment in emergency aviation and showed how creative engineering can take flight, even with rubber and air. Grumman X29. The Grumman X29 was a groundbreaking experimental aircraft developed in the 1980s by NASA and the U.S. Air Force. What made it truly unique was its forward-swept wings, which gave it a futuristic look and exceptional maneuverability. Engineers used advanced composite materials to make the wings strong yet lightweight, solving problems that once made this design impractical. The X29 also had a fly-by-wire control system, allowing it to stay stable despite its unusual shape. Though it never went into full production, the X29 played a vital role in testing new aerodynamic concepts. Its legacy lives on in modern aircraft design, showing how bold ideas can push aviation forward. It remains a symbol of innovation and engineering courage. Hafner Rotabuggy. The Hafner Rotabuggy is a unique German experimental vehicle developed in the 1950s by the engineer Heinrich Hafner. This innovative design aimed to combine the advantages of both an aircraft and a car. The Rotabuggy featured a rotating wing system, allowing it to take off and land vertically, much like a helicopter. Its compact, rugged design made it versatile for off-road exploration. Though the vehicle never entered mass production, it showcased cutting-edge ideas in aviation and transport technology during its time. Today, the Hafner Rotabuggy remains a fascinating example of early attempts to merge automotive and aerospace engineering, highlighting the creative spirit of post-war innovation. Hughes H4 Hercules. The Hughes H4 Hercules, famously known as the Spruce Goose, is one of aviation's most fascinating marvels. Built during World War II by Howard Hughes, this massive aircraft was designed to transport troops and equipment across the Atlantic. Made mostly of wood due to wartime restrictions on metals, it stretches over 218 feet and stands as the largest flying boat ever constructed. Despite its size, it flew only once in 1947, for just about a minute. Yet, that brief flight made history. The H4 wasn't a commercial success, but it remains a symbol of bold ambition and innovation. Today, it's preserved in Oregon, reminding us how far imagination can soar when it's paired with determination and vision. Lockheed Martin P791. The Lockheed Martin P791 is a hybrid airship that blends traditional airship features with advanced aircraft technology. Designed for both military and commercial use, the P791 stands out with its unique tri-hull design, providing stability, lift, and cargo space. Unlike traditional blimps, it uses a combination of helium and aerodynamic lift, allowing it to carry heavy loads with greater fuel efficiency. Its design supports long-duration missions, making it ideal for surveillance, transport, and even disaster response. Though still in the prototype stage, the P791 showcases Lockheed Martin's commitment to innovative, low-cost, and environmentally friendly air mobility solutions. It's a bold step toward the future of aviation, quiet, versatile, and built for a range of missions. Lockheed XFV, nicknamed Salmon. The Lockheed XFV, nicknamed Salmon after its test pilot Herman Salmon, was one of the most unusual aircraft ever built. Designed in the 1950s, it was a bold attempt to create a vertical takeoff and landing fighter for the U.S. Navy. Its sleek, tail-sitting design looked like something from science fiction. Powered by a powerful turboprop engine and equipped with large contra-rotating propellers, it was meant to launch from small naval vessels without needing a runway. However, the XFV never transitioned from experimental to operational use. It struggled with stability and never fully achieved vertical takeoff or landing in tests. Still, the Salmon remains a fascinating chapter in aviation history, where ambition met innovation head-on.